Namaste everyone, Anu Chabda here. Today we are talking about this beautiful Tulsi plant. Yes, in India mostly all of us we have Tulsi plant in our house. We worship it daily. It is considered to be very auspicious to keep it in your house, to bring positivity in our house, and all kinds of negativity. We say if Tulsi is there in our house, most of us it can be taken care of by Tulsi plant only. Especially it is kept near the entrances, so all the positivity is welcomed inside the house, and whatever the negativity is there, it stays outside the house. The best place they say it's to keep Tulsi is towards north or northeast area, so there it gets the maximum you can say the growth. And when we talk about the pot, generally cemented pots people prefer to grow it. At the same time even the earthen pots are welcome because it needs little cooler area near to its roots. So plastic pots generally it gets heated up in the places where it's too much hot, but in Bangalore the climate is not that hot, so I am growing it in a plastic pot only. But if you can source, try growing it in earthen pots, so the growth will be really good. When we talk about the soil mix, yes, as it's a complete foliage plant, more leaves are there, so directly telling is you can say it needs a nitrogen rich soil. So regular feeding of compost, and at the preparation of this potting mix also try using more of compost. Let it be composted cow dung or your vermicompost, anything is fine. So equal quantities of your compost, soil and coco peat you can take. Watering, yes, it needs regular watering, but make sure excuse me, make sure that the water is well drained in the pot. The water logging problem should not be there, as this plant has a little delicate on its root part, and especially the fungal attacks might happen. So make sure the soil is well drained soil you use. And this plant really does well if regular pinching is done or pruning is done, so it will become more bushy, and the fresh new leaves are really you can say they are quite strong. So as and when you keep pinching, more leaves will keep coming, and it will make the plant more greener and bushier. There are two kinds of tulsis basically available in the market. That is one is Rama Tulsi, what I am showing you right now. Okay, this is green in color, and even the stems, if you see closely, they are more towards lighter green color. At the same time, one is Shyama Tulsi. If you see this is little darker in color, and the stems are little on a these stems, if you see, these are little on a darker sides. So the Rama Tulsi is basically what is we use in our houses. The Shyama Tulsi is used for the Ayurvedic medicine purposes. So even the Rama Tulsi has too much of medicinal properties, but it's comparatively lesser than the Shyama Tulsi. So Ayurveda mostly Shyama Tulsi is used. So about the you can say, now few facts are there which is associated with Tulsi, so that I want to share with you all. So most of the people, they say even if they buy Tulsi, it does not survive, or after few days the growth will not be that good, or it dies really fast. So some people have a belief that if you steal Tulsi from somebody's house, then it really grows well. Some say if you gift Tulsi to if somebody gets gifted Tulsi from somebody, then it thrives well in the house. So different people have different beliefs. You see which works for you. And one more thing, what people say, that Tulsi, especially during the Kartik Masa, the Kartik month, any Thursday of Kartik month, if you plant Tulsi, so it has more chances of survival, and it is very good or auspicious for the people who are planting it. So that is one thing. And they say the chewing of tulsi, whenever we pluck tulsi leaves directly, we should not put it in the mouth and chew it. Why? There are two reasons. One is the mercury content. The leaves of the tulsi contains too much of mercury, and when we chew these, so those mercury contents get in contact, direct contact with our teeth, which is calcium. So there is a, you can say, the reaction, chemical reaction happens between calcium and the mercury, and discoloration and the decaying of teeth starts really fast. So it is said that even if you want to consume tulsi, it should be swallowed. Okay, so we mix it in charnamrit or anything, and we just swallow it. So that is a traditional practices which is followed, that when you swallow with the charnamrit, it goes directly inside the mouth without touching your teeth, and you should not you can say chew it. One more reason is that they say it is a form of God Lakshmi, that is the wife of Lord Vishnu. So if it is chewed, it's kind of a disrespect given to the god, so better to swallow it. And at the same time, as I was telling you, the pruning this plant loves a lot. So every time when we are taking out after the puja, generally what we do, we just take it like this. So what happens, indirectly we are doing pruning to the plant. So every time when we are doing puja to this, after the puja in the charnamrit or whatever we are making, we tend to put few tulsi leaves, and especially during eclipse also, or anything we say, it has so much of power in it. So if tulsi leaves are kept in all the food items whatever we store in our house, so they are not getting affected by the eclipse anymore. So that kind of a power tulsi has. And one more thing is that because of its you can say yeah, the mercury content, that's what when we swallow, it goes directly into our body, so without touching our teeth. And the pinching what we are doing, so it's a regular form of pinching also, so indirectly that is also taken care of. One more thing is there, that generally all the plant, the final stage of the plants are the seed formation. So once the seed formation has taken place, so the plant feels that it's the life for what it has come on earth, that purpose is fulfilled. So there is no need for me to be there anymore. So gradually the plant starts dying. So make sure whenever your tulsi plant start getting flowers, or it starts bearing flowers or the seeds, if you don't want those seeds, try pinching those tips if it started bearing flowers, so that what happens, the plant can concentrate its on overall growth and it will not start dying. So generally they say the plant stays for years together if regular pinching, pruning, all that is taken care of. One more thing, as I told you, because we worship this as a god, so make sure the place around this, they say it should be really neat and clean, because it is considered to be how we keep our puja room clean and all. So this is said that if you keep a clean and tidy atmosphere around it, so it will be really healthy. At the same time, the growth and the foliage, everything will, the plant will feel happy, and the more positivity will be there in your house. Now again you see, because I was telling you how scientifically it has been attached. Now if it is clean everywhere, yes, any plant, if it is clean around, so the growth will be there, and at the same time, as I told you, it can have fungal attack. So if the cleanliness is around, so there won't be any fungal attack. So once we worship like a god, so we try to keep the area clean. And one more thing they say, anything which is not wanted, like your broomsticks or any broken pots or any such things which are unwanted things, should not be kept next to this, because this is the plant which attracts too much of positivity. So indirectly, if something unwanted things are there kept around this, again the chances of more fungal attack will be there on things, because we will generally not touch those things frequently, and fungus growth will be there, which indirectly may affect the plant also. So that is one real nice factor. And as we consider this tulsi plant as I told you, it's a Lakshmi, god Lakshmi. So it's a female version, we can say. We consider it as a female thing. So generally it is said any thorny plant like cactuses and all should not be kept next to it, whereas any floral plants or anything which has good aroma, as we all ladies, we love to have flowers, aromas. So all these plants, if it is kept around this, so this plant, the positivity gets increased, and overall the health of the plant is also good. One very interesting fact what I have observed in this is, once whenever we do the puja every day with this, so we try to light a lamp. So the lamp generally we put it at the base, okay, and the dhoop batti or the agarbatti, whatever we put it, we generally try to put it here, okay. So once the agarbatti or the dhoop batti, whatever we have lightened, so the ash of those starts falling here only. So in this I have collected to show you. Now see, suppose the ash whatever is collected, so what happens generally, that ash of that agarbatti or dhoop batti, it keeps falling around the plant. And if you observe, this plant loves little alkaline soil, which is somewhere approximately 6.5 to 7.5. So every day when we do puja to this, and the dhoop batti's ash whatever is falling on the soil, so it makes the soil to some extent alkaline. So that is also one reason. See how scientifically it has been proven that the ash what it falls from the agarbatti or the dhoop batti, that is really a good source of sulfur, which makes your soil little alkaline, and the plant needs such thing, okay. And one more practice is, I really want to compare the things, what beliefs are there associated with tulsi plant, and how scientifically those beliefs are correct in the growth of these plants, okay. So one more thing is, generally it is said tulsi should not be kept directly on the floor. So try to raise it little from the floor. So that's what the stands and all, we make the cemented stands, or I have put it in little pot. So anyways, so the main thing is, as I told you, this has a problem of fungal attack. So make sure when it is raised from the floor or any surface, so the chances of you can say the fungal attack is minimum. So your plant will feel really healthy, lush green, and overall growth of the plant will be really good. One more practice is very much associated with this, is that on Sundays and on Ekadashi days, people do not water tulsi plant. So this is something is you can say a belief that you should not go or a pinch, or you can say water too much on Sundays or Ekadashis. But scientifically, if you see, every day when we are giving water to the plant, because we are worshipping this plant daily, so sometimes the water content, how much ever the soil is having a good porous and good drainage, but yes, sometimes the problem can come with the overwatering. So weekly once, if the watering is not given to this plant, and once in 15 days when the Ekadashi is there, so that time if it is not given, so what happens, the plant gets a break, and the root formation will be really good, because the plant is getting a break from water on that days. So whatever excess water has been given by mistake by us or because of the soil structure, so that can be taken care of. So that is also a very good practice, you can say, for the plants. And regular raking is required, so that the aeration is good in the soil, so there should not be any fungal attack. And regularly you can add composted cow dung or vermicompost, or even you can say diluted buttermilk also people give. So all that is that spraying can be done, because that again it controls a good fungal attack to the plant. Regular pruning, controlled watering, good soil, good sunlight. Make sure it's not in completely the place, suppose you are staying where it is too much of scorching sunlight is there, try keeping in little filtered sunlight. Otherwise in Bangalore it's fine. The other northern India or any part where it is too much of hot sun, try keeping it during winters in some shady area, in summers in some shady areas, and in winters try to cover it with some cloth or inside your house during the night times. Because of the frost, the fungal attack, again the leaves will start rotting. So these are the few things we have to keep it in mind while growing tulsi. And even if they say it's kind of a member of our family, we consider this plant. So if we are feeling hot, so how we want airy space, so try giving in summer, suppose too much of hot heat waves are there, try giving this plant little, some people arrange some cooler or some kind of a stuff near to it, so that the plant is in a feels little cooler. And at the same time, if it is winters, they put some sticks around these four corners, and there's a thin shawl or a thin cloth is being tied around to give it warmth. So same as we feel, so we consider this plant as a part of our family only. So if taken well care and we consider it as our own family member, so I think this plant thrives, and it's really good thing to have in a house, not only for its positivity but it has too much of medicinal aspect also. Try having it regularly in either in your green teas or your charnamrit, the way you want to consume it. So I hope I have tried to cover all the aspects of growing tulsi. If you have anything related to this which you know better, you can write in your comment section. I really want more people to know about this beautiful plant. And thank you very much for joining me. So keep watching, something new will be up very soon. Thank you.